So good morning. It is Saturday, July 4th. It's the 4th of July. It's like 8:30 in the morning on Saturday morning, and I'm sitting outside. It's a beautiful day, and there's nobody here. So I figured that I would take advantage of the fact that there's nobody here, and do my diary journal entry. I've had an interesting morning already. My dog took off and disappeared out of the parking lot even. And there's gates at the end of this parking lot where I live, where I stay, where I reside. So, and one of them is only open because it's a holiday and it's Saturday. I don't know. He's a quick little asshole. He's 7 years old and he should be over this by now, you know? I don't know why he isn't. He doesn't do it very often, and usually because I don't give him opportunity to. I was slacking this morning and I was getting ready to come do that because I was feeling led that my journal entry, my diary, my vlog entry should be done outside this morning because it's such a beautiful morning. So I was heading up to do this, whatever this is that I'm doing, this live video entry log of the atom seed that I have received that has been activated within me on June 21st, Father's Day of this year. And it's part of who I am and what I came here to do. I've got to figure out a better system. Oops, sorry. I definitely got to figure out a better system. And it's who I am and what I came here to do as the 13th pillar. These daily entries are meant to track the activation of the atom seed that I received on Father's Day, June 21st, 2026. And this is day 12. So this would be day 12. Yesterday was day 1. It was my introductory, getting used to the idea of being on live video. My oversoul, my higher self, is pushing me to be raw and genuine and authentic, and that's why the live. That's why I'm not doing pre-recorded videos. My intuition wants me to be here, present, live, whether I have an audience or not, because apparently it has something to do with how the signal gets broadcast out into the grid. And my signal, because I'm anchoring. I'm currently overwritten the Metatron Cube technology, the black box technology, the matrix, whatever you want to call it. It's a Metatronic Cube technology. And I'm speaking about Keylontic science, okay? Keylontic science, the Kathara grid of life, the true tree of life. From the Cloister Duratura, the CDT plates and records and the prophecies they speak of. Now, this is just me giving a daily, I don't even know. I just know that my live broadcast is putting out the signal that needs to be put out into the grid, because my genetic code, my DNA genetic code, is now overriding the Metatronic black box cube system. It's really hard to explain, and I'm not trying to get into all that. It's taken a lot for me to to decide that this is real for me. Okay, it took a lot for me to get to where this is reality for me. This is my truth, because whereas I've always felt it within my DNA, I've always known my whole life that I was different, I was special, all those, all those things that most chosen ones go through and deal with our whole lives. I've always known, and if any of you know me at any amount of time in my life, in my entire life, you've heard me say more than once that I'm meant to change the world. I am going to change the world. And I'm going to change the world. That's what I'm doing. And if any of you have known me for any amount of time, you guys have heard me say that I'm a world changer. I'm here to change the world. And turns out I was right. That's not an ego trip. That's not a tooting my own horn type of statement that I'm making. It is what it is. It is the reality of my personal truth and my personal story. And how I discovered that personal truth and that personal story was connecting the dots through my own genetics, my own surnames, my bloodline, as well as my natal chart, my true natal chart, my birth chart. Now, we live in the Western Hemisphere, and we are influenced by the Western astrology system, and that's inaccurate. I mean, it's accurate, but it's not. It's distorted. It's shifted. I don't know how to explain the difference. I use an app called Moonly app, Moonly app, that explains the difference between the Western astrology system and the Vedic astrology system. The sidereal system, true astrology system, is accurate. It's what the actual sky is doing, whereas Western astrology, I don't know, it's got some kind of fixed elements or something along those lines. I'm not really sure. I'm sure, but I don't see. I'm not stuck on that. I'm not stuck on trying to focus and figure that part out. So that's and it's not my focus of expertise. So I understand it to the point that I need to understand it. And if you want to understand it more, then by all means do the research that you need to for yourself, for your own personal journey. Whatever you feel pushed to do internally from the words that you hear me speak, please investigate. That's the point of this. That's the point of interacting my truth out into the grid. That's all I'm doing here. Whether I have anybody watching me or not, isn't the point. The point is broadcasting my frequency out into the universe, out into the grid. I mean, my dog is back behind me whining. You probably hear him. He's not coming outside. I just, in fact, let him out of the bathroom because I haven't set up his kennel yet because I don't know where to put it at the moment. I've only been in this environment for like, I don't know, a couple 3 weeks, something like that. I've had an interesting journey. I've had an interesting journey the last few months, well, the last few years, but the last few months specifically have been very, very interesting for me, and have been a very, very transformative, inner transformative journey that I am trying to share with the world, because that's my job, it turns out. And I'm not used to being in front of the camera. I'm not used to doing any of this, to be honest with you. I'm trying to feel into it. And I guess that's the point of it all, is getting to know ourselves and our intuition. And our natal charts, our natal charts tell us, they are the key, the cipher to who we are. The true Vedic astrology system. So what I'm doing here with this video log is, I guess I'm getting used to being in front of the camera. I am establishing a platform that is following the gestation and the maturation of what's called the Adam seed. Now, the Adam seed is part of the Closer Dura Torah prophecies. They're plates. They are discs that have the holographic history of our holographic depiction of our history and our origins of the earth and the universe, and what's called Keylontic science and the Cathara grid of life, the true grid of life. And everything's a spiral. Time is a spiral. And the Adam seed and the 13th pillar, the prophecy speaks of the years 2026, which is what we're in now. And it speaks about the 13th pillar. So there's 13 biological avatars that are walking along amongst the planet, amongst us right now during this day and age, who are biological, bioengineered CDT plates. They coincide with the Stargates. There's 12, and there's 12 tribes, there's 12 CDT plates, bioengineered avatars, biological avatars. They're male, walking the planet, and I am the 13th pillar. I am the bioengineered biological avatar for the 13th pillar, which means I am the center point of the energy, and the rest of them is the Taurus that swirls around in energy. Now, I've been activated. The Taurus has not been activated. The Adam seed inside me that has been activated on June 21st, 2026, 12 days ago at 3 o'clock, 1500, has a 1,314 day gestation and maturation period, which is approximately 3 years and a few months, like 3 years and it's 219 days, 3 years and 290 days, which is what, a little over 6 months, like between 6 and 9 months. So that began on June 21st. So June 21st was the first day, and today is day 12. And yesterday was my first video diary log live session, explaining and introducing myself to the grid and to try to trigger the celestial humans on the grid that need a path to follow for their own ascension, so they know where to go and where to turn. Because if you are resonating with anything that I say as truth within your own body, then you are a celestial human. The fact of the matter is any entity now, because of my own personal genetics that are the code that have overwritten the grid, the matrix grid, okay? So the matrix is no longer applicable. It's dissolving, but there's a 6-year period between now and the full dissolvement. And our DNA, celestial humans, and even the shadow entities, our DNA is the key that's going to unlock our ascension. And whether we get stuck in the Armageddon agenda of the religious dogmas or ascend into our true evolution as eternal beings. And you heard me right, I said eternal. Death has never been wasn't part of our creation. It's part of the karmic trap, the matrix trap that we've been trapped in for many years, and because we don't remember who we are. Our genetics have been spliced, pieces of it have been removed and put into a nucleus and within our atom and our particle, our particle, that scientists call junk DNA. And it's not junk DNA, it was just taken out of sequence of our DNA and stored within the nucleus because our evolution needed to be slowed down because of other distortions. We are the only creation within creation, and we are the babies. There are so many more beings and creatures out in the universe. We are not the only ones. We need to get used to that idea. It's about to be bombarded. Our universe, our reality is about to be shifting. If we've been paying attention to the news which I don't pay attention to news because news is propaganda bullshit. It's all meant to distract us from the truth. But what we see in politics, the COVID agenda alone, I mean, the world's lost its fucking mind, right? Well, there's a reason for that. And the thing is we are meant to see through that. We are meant to see through the fear-based BS of our society and the conditioning that we have been programmed to believe, and see through the fear-based crap. False evidence appearing real, right? We are creatures of love, and they have used our love against us and driven us into a karmic loop, using it to guilt and shame us. And that's not who we are. We are 12-stranded DNA beings. We are the only creation in the universe that has 12-strand potential. We were created to be the guardians of the galaxy. That is a true statement. And I know it might sound silly, but if we look at our blockbuster movies, it's all truth hidden in plain sight. Men in Black, all the Marvel movies, the Star Wars movies is ancient history before the Earth was created, before planet Earth was even a thing. Apollo, stop. I said no. I'm going to get the squirt bottle. So, I'm not allowing him to come out because he took off this morning, and no, I had to go find him. He was down the road, and I had to come back and like recenter myself and like watch some funny videos to get back into my joy, because but I handle it differently than I normally do. So this is all walking out learning, and this is what this video blog is about. It's about not only just broadcasting my frequency out into the grid with the autumn seed that I'm carrying, but to follow my ascension and to give some raw, genuine authenticity to the chaos of the world, so that we have a place so other celestial humans at least have a place to tap in and can resonate and be activated within their own DNA. My DNA, my energy has always been activated, or online, I should say, not activated, but and has always affected other people my whole entire life, which makes sense now. My whole entire life, the trauma through my life, now that I know who I am and I understand my purpose, my life purpose, my mission in life, all my trauma, my life, all makes sense. Every single bit of it. The fact that I know that I'm neurodivergent now, I am autistic, makes that information was so helpful as an adult. It would have been super helpful as a kid, but I don't negate my experiences as not being worth anything. Everything that happened to me happened for a decisive, precise, particular and specific reason, and it all led me to this point here today, to be who I am today as the 13th pillar and as a CDT plate biological avatar to carry the Atom seed in order to dissolve the matrix of reality and to separate the new earth from the old earth, and to separate the celestial humans, the celestial angelic humans who are vibrating high enough in their own DNA and helping the planet ascend, and that we're separate so you don't have to go through the Armageddon agenda of the dogma of religions, the religious dogmas. I'm on day 12 with the Atom seed. I received the Atom seed on June 21st, 2026 of this year. This is day 12. It happened at 1500. That's when I had 157 days clean off methamphetamine. I work with the Chaldean numerology system to understand the codes of our reality. I urge anybody that's paying attention, do your own research. If you think I'm crazy, that's fine. I'm crazy then. If you don't think that what I have to say is worth hearing, then don't listen. You don't have to judge me. You can carry on with your own life. That's the point of all this. We operate in love. Love is the basis. If you are operating in judgment, criticism, greed, or any of that, then you're on the lower bandwidth. You're on the lower vibrational bandwidth, and you're not on the fiber optic bandwidth that even needs to be here. So what I'm saying is we need to raise our vibrations. The celestial humans need a path, and that path is the cloistered Duratura plates, the records that they carry within, and the prophecy that they speak about. And I'm here fulfilling that prophecy as we speak. It's a lot to take in. It's a lot of information. You have to understand, have a basic understanding of biology. You have to have a basic understanding of physics and quantum physics. Keylontic science is what I'm talking about. Keylontic science is the bridge between science and spirituality, because there is no difference between the two. There is no difference between. Spirituality is science, you guys. Anuhazi is the original light language. I'm encouraging you to please look these things up for yourself. And if you are resonating with anything that I am telling you, then please do the research on your own. I am really here to document my walk, my journey with the Atom Seed, and to broadcast the frequency of the 13th pillar and the Atom Seed that I carry out onto the grid. And I'm following my D4, my heart. I'm in coherence with my heart and my brain. I have activated and stabilized my DNA, D1 through D7. I am activated and stabilized through D1 through D7 in my own personal DNA. I am carrying what's called the Atom Seed, which is the blueprint. It's the morphogenetic blueprint of the crystalline Christos nervous system, DNA template. And it's being anchored into the grid as we speak. And it was a 6-year buffer period between now and the snapback when the full split is dissolved, when the full split is happened, the separation has happened. Think of it like two reproductive cells that are fertilized and are reproducing a child. So they split in half. The same thing is happening with our planets, from micro to macro. Okay, so right now our planet is splitting in two. It's literally, not metaphorically, I'm talking literally, splitting in two. And we are in this juncture where it's like that little over split, right? These are the two planets, or you know what I mean? Here's Earth. Here's old Earth and new Earth. Here's Earth now. But we're in the split where it's only just a little tiny bit left, the weird condensed period before the full split happens. And so there's a lot of chaos in the energy. The shadow entities are desperate to take as many with them into the Armageddon agenda to prolong their own immortal, vampiric, parasitic existence as possible. But the thing is they are now, even though shadow entities are now given the choice to not have to take the path to Stardust, they can choose ascension at this point. It's made easy. The Matrix has been overwritten. The Metatronic Black Cube technology is no longer pertinent or applicable to the grid. It's overwritten by my genetic code and the fact that I carry the Atom Seed. And we are at day 12 of the Atom Seed, and this video log is meant for me to track that progression. And I'm, like I said, this was only day 2, and I'm just, right now I feel like my oversoul, my spirit is just getting me used to being in front of the camera. It's meant to be raw, authentic, and me, easy to follow. And I'm not, like, those of you who know me, I'm not really a video queen. I'm not, like, I don't do video well. And now that I haven't had my teeth either, since I've had my teeth pulled, like, it's taken me It's taken me almost a year. It took me almost a year to get used to my face without my teeth. Like, this journey has been difficult, but a good one at the same time, and I'm grateful for it. And that's the thing, is we need to remember to be grateful for the things that we have and start there. We need to start with remember to being grateful. That's how we begin to raise our vibration, is by increasing by being grateful. We start by being grateful, and then when we find ourselves doing things that bring out our childlike joy, that's the second potent piece of manifestation into this universe, into this grid, is that childlike joy, doing the things that make us light up inside. You know what I mean? Makes the little kid in us happy. That helps how we change our life, you guys. And then the third manifestation potency energy is orgasmic energy. But without understanding how that works, it's hard to get into. And most of us leak our orgasmic energy into the grid, and that is our most potent and strongest frequency of manifestation and creation. And we spill it into the grid mostly. That's where the shame piece comes in, and our misconceptions about sexual intercourse and sexual relationships and sexual intimacy come into play. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to, what my journey is going to take, where this journey is taking me. I know that I'm here for a reason, and I have a purpose, and I know what that purpose is. I don't know what that really looks like, though, and I'm trying to walk that out intuitively, and I'm trying to do what my heart tells me to do without my brain arguing with me, because that's the problem. And I remember to be still, and I remember to ground myself, because I'm connected to the planet in a way that's profound. And the thing is, as we all are, we're all connected to the planet in a profound way. We were meant to be guardians of this planet, and we need to help her ascend. And by doing so, we raise our own vibration. And we start by being grateful and doing the things that we love. And learning about Keylontic science and the Kathara grid of life, the true tree of life, the true flower of life, not the daisy of death that the Fibonacci spiral actually represents. The Fibonacci spiral is that parasitic spiral. It is the fib of no chi. There's no energy there. It dissolves into a black hole and turns into stardust, with no memory of itself ever having had existing. And we don't want that. And those entities, the shadow entities that are been disconnected from their own soul matrix and have been feeding off of ours, are desperate not to lose their own immortality. Although they are now given the opportunity to reconnect to the soul matrix through this grid now, if they so choose to. And those of you who resonate with that truth will know what I'm speaking of, and those of you who don't need to worry about it. This is a video log for me to track my progress with the Atom Seed. That is the main purpose of me here, and to teach those of you who will listen the key words that you need to hear in order to activate your own DNA, in order to raise your own vibration, so that by the time 2030 comes around and the Atom Seed is mature enough to broadcast its own signal, you guys are on the right side of the veil, that you guys are on the right side of the field, the harmonic field. It is important to raise your vibration so that when the snapback happens in 2033, you're not caught in the Armageddon agenda. I don't know how much more I can emphasize that and get across the urgency. And that's the point of this video, this video logs that I'm going to be doing. I can't commit to daily, but I know that Spirit, my oversoul source that I'm connected to, has a definite plan for this, and I need to start establishing my platform. And I may not know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing at all. I just know that I need to show up raw and authentic and let Source speak through me authentically with my truth. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm really, really trying to do here. And I work with cards. And this morning, okay, so I work with Palo Santo. Palo Santo is and sage. It's a good way to clear devices, because videos, our devices are portals. The videos are portals, and that's why I think that's the biggest piece. Another reason why Source has me doing this live is because my frequency, as I'm speaking and channeling Source through me, cannot be distorted, whereas if I were to record it and then upload it. So whereas I do upload this onto my YouTube channel after I do the live broadcast, the live broadcast is important because it's what keeps my frequency true to my frequency. And everything is energy. Everything is energy. And the way that our universe is created is not the way that we've been told that it's created. Death is not something to be feared. We live in a virtual reality. We do. We live in a simulation. And everything that we think is reality is a hologram. It is. And we are in the slowest and densest part. And there is a there's a polarity to our existence. And if you look into Keylontic science, and I have posted videos on my Facebook feed of YouTube videos that help explain exactly what I'm talking about. And I encourage you guys to make it a priority to do the research. You should know how your biology works. You need to know about your own DNA. You need to know how to activate your DNA so that you guys don't get stuck in the dogma religious Armageddon agenda or the AI ascension trap. God, there's so much that we don't know that we've been lied to about. And the Cloister Duratura plates tell us the truth. And if we would only pay attention and listen and be open-minded to the truth, we can escape the bullshit of this reality and not get stuck in the Stardust reality. Keylontic science, the Cathar grid of life, the true flower of life, the crystal spiral. That's what I've been trying to think of. The crystal spiral is what I'm talking about. The crystal spiral, the Christos Kundalini energy, the true information that Jesus Christ came to speak of. So the Adam seed, that's what this video diary is about. So on the Adam seed that I received on June 21st on Father's Day. I received the Adam seed. Now, from my understanding, because I still don't have a full understanding, because I do know that it's an energetic frequency. The 13th pillar is an energetic frequency. The Adam seed is an energetic frequency. But I know that frequency, the energy and the frequency is going to ultimately shift the reality that we live in. That is the point of it. We project our thoughts and we speak our thoughts into reality. Everything is light, sounds, and symbols. And we are so powerful as beings, and we are so capable of so much more than what we're told. And we need to start activating ourselves, and start activating our DNA, and start being the celestial angelic humans that we were here to create it to be. And that is the truth. We start by being grateful. We start by doing the research and the science, looking into the science, Keylontic science. That is what my understanding is. Now, what I do know, what I do understand about the Adam seed and the mission that I'm accomplishing in this day and age, and my energy is connected to the 3-eye Atlas mass that was in the sky recently, that came in 2025, came micro to macro. Everything's a spiral. Our reality is a spiral. from micro to macro. The cosmos and our body, our biology, all of it is connected from micro to macro. It's all just a spiral. Time, our soul matrix, and there's different harmonic fields and universes within that spiral, and they each carry 3 dimensions. So the Atom seed is the original mission that Jesus Christ of the Bible. Okay, so Jesus Christ is not his name, first of all. His name is Yeshua. Joshua, to be accurate. And to be fully accurate, there were 2 in that timeline. There were 2 of them walking on this planet and during their timeline. And Mary Magdalene, whose real name is Miriam, is the counterpart to Jesus. Stop, Apollo, I'm going to get the squirt bottle. So, with that being said, the dogma of religion distorted the legacy, terribly distorted it. And then they tried to, then they told us that Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ didn't have a relationship, and clearly they did. And then they tried to tell us that there's no bloodline, and there is. They have a bloodline, okay? They have children together. And here's the thing about that period, is they were trying to accomplish a mission to manually override the matrix, the containment net at that time, the Metatronic cube technology at that time. And so Miriam came in, who was older than Yeshua. And there was a sequence to that, to their birthing sequence. They were raised in what's called Essene communities, E-S-S-E-N-E communities that were connected to the truth, that still carried the truth of the Atlantis, the Atlantean wisdom, and the Lemurian technology, all of that. They carried that and knew that knowledge, and they practiced it within their communities. And now there were different communities throughout the planet after the destruction of Atlantis happened, because it was a huge continent. Lemuria was a huge continent that went from Madagascar to the North American continent, you guys, in the middle of the Indian Ocean and the Atlantic Ocean. So that is now all underground because of the fall that happened with the fallen factions that thrust our planet through the black hole to seal the containment net that we're in. Now, this is all hard to explain, and it's so hard to follow, and you need to do your own research. So, because the truth will come in layers of your own, through your own DNA activation. And right now, most humans are activated through D1, D2, D3. D3, D4 maybe. But most of us are stabilized through D3, D4, and then not really even really stabilized. We just kind of fluctuate between those 2 bandwidths, not really knowing. And it's why we sleep so much, because most of that's occurring in our sleep, in our subconscious. We are able to evolve where our conscious and our subconscious are one and merged. Right now there's a disconnect within our DNA, which is why it has made it difficult to do so, but we can do so. We can connect our DNA through activating it internally, through activation by learning ourselves. It's an ascension process. You start with gratitude, you start with meditation, stillness. Listen to the small, still voice within your gut. Connect your heart space to your brain space. You know, the heart-brain coherence is a real thing. Our heart is the biggest and most magnetic device on the planet. Every human being's heart is the most magnetic pull on the planet, besides the heart of the planet itself. And the thing about that is we need to start living from our heart space and not our head space. This is where we start raising our vibration, is from living from here. It's from taking that D4 space, that childlike space within us, the things that light us up and make us giggle and make us act like the kids that we long to be. That is where we should be living from. And we need to get on point with that. We need to start learning how to find our heart space and not letting all the junk from other people get to us, that's not ours to carry. Our job is to raise our own vibration in order to help raise the vibration of the planet, to ascend out of the matrix, the containment field of the Metatronic Cube technology, and the Armageddon dogma agenda of religion. I am here with these video logs on day 12 of carrying the Atom Seed, and I am documenting that progress because that's what my heart space tells me to do. That's my intuition is telling me to do. It's my oversoul is guiding me to do. So this interaction on these live feeds is for me to get my frequency out into the grid raw and without distortion, because my genetic code, my DNA genetics have now overridden the Metatronic Black Cube technology, and I carry what's called the Atom Seed. And the Atom Seed is what Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene came to accomplish. And they did not succeed at that. But what they did succeed was getting the genetic codes, the mother arc and the father arc codes, into the genetic biology, the DNA of the avatars, of the bloodlines on the planet, of the 12 tribes of the planet, of the guardians that were placed here to evolve to be guardians not only of the planet but of the galaxy. So we need to understand that we are a celestial, celestial humans, human beings are the only creation in the universe, and we are the babies, mind you. We are the baby creations of the universe, but we are the only creation in the universe that has 12-strand DNA potential. The only beings in creation that has 12-strand DNA potential, guys, and this is huge. This is a big deal. You need to wrap your head around the idea of that. That means that we are meant to be the guardians of the galaxy, you guys, and we need to start stepping into our roles. We need to start learning who we are as individuals, loving ourselves, activating our heart space, and activating our DNA, and raise the vibration of the planet through our own vibration rising. And we only have 6 years to do this. And 3 years ultimately, because by 2030, by the solstice of 2030, the Atom Seed will be mature enough within its own nervous system and its own little avatar, its own little biological avatar, to be the broadcaster of the system to dissolve the yes, I do. I get a lot of this information I did get from Dr. Samuel Lee, Amarina. Yes, to answer your question. That's another good source for you to go to. Keylontic Science, Ashiana Dean, the MCEO Freedom Teachings. I'm talking about the Cloister Door, Tura plates, the records there within, and the prophecy that it speaks of. And yes, I am here to fulfill that prophecy. Oh, I just got tingles. I am the 13th pillar of that prophecy, and I carry the Atom Seed. And this is the video. I'm doing this live feed video daily in order to broadcast my signal out into the grid, because my DNA genetics has overwritten the code, the Metatronic Black Cube code technology, you guys. And so we need to start raising our vibration and activating our DNA and raising the vibration of the planet as well. And it's a personal choice. And all the videos that I post, most of them that I share, well, the YouTube videos that I share on my Facebook feed are resources to learn the information that I am speaking about and that I'm talking about. And as I'm talking to you, even I am learning. It's complicated, and we have been conditioned to think of it completely differently than what the truth actually is, you guys. And we need to know that what we think we know is not the truth. We don't know dick shit about fuck all, okay? Excuse my language. But we don't. And the religious dogmas have lied to us and not lied to us at the same time. We have to understand that they're good stepping stones, but they were supposed to be tools that lead us to this realization, okay? We are more powerful than we are told that we are. We have capabilities. Like I said, we were created originally to be the true guardians of the galaxy and to upgrade this reality out of being the hologram that it is. And there is shadow entities out there who do not want this, and they're causing chaos, and they have lied to us for ages. For ages. It started with the Romans and their eradication of history, and then their conversion into the Roman Catholic Church. All of this, you can look it up on your own, okay? The halls of Amenti are open. So you got to be discerning when you look into history. But the cloister Duratura plates and the records that they carry there within carry the true history. Now, a lot of it is metaphoric and coded because of the wording, verbiage, and understanding. It has to do with understanding. Yes, walking on water is nothing because, okay, so what I'm going to get back to what I was talking about. This video diary is for me to broadcast my frequency live onto the grid. I'm doing this intuitively with my oversoul, my intuition. I carry the Adam seed. Now, the Adam seed is what Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, whose real name is Miriam, came to do. And Jesus Christ's real name is Yeshua. Okay, his name is Yeshua. It's not Jesus. If you pray to Jesus, you're praying to shadow entities. However, that's irrelevant nowadays. It's irrelevant now because the black box technology has been overwritten. So regardless of what you believe in, you are now able to ascend. But just know that if you ascend under the wrong technology, you will reincarnate and have to do it again. If you do it within this cycle. This cycle is an end-all cycle, kind of. It's an upgrade of Earth. It's the ascension of Earth back into its true dimension and our true evolution. And those of us, the celestial humans who catch the wave and jump on board, are going to survive the snapback of the 2033 dissolution of the veil. 2030, though, is when our DNA makes that choice. And 2030, the solstice of 2030, is you will either be vibrating high enough within your own DNA that you have gone through the containment net already. You're on the other side of the field of the containment net, or you're not. By 2030 is when that's going to happen. So if you're not on the other side of the containment field by 2030, you're not going to make it by 2033. So keep that in mind. Work on activating your own DNA. And I do recommend Samuel Lee, MD. He's a spiritual psychiatrist. He's got a DNA activation program. Now, he has charged for it in the past. I have not watched it because I have not been able to pay for it. But I do believe that he gives a free webinar class that I just haven't found it, to activate your own DNA. But basically, it comes down to light, sound, and symbols, you guys. The original light language is Anuhazi. And if you're a Christian, I grew up in the dogma of Christianity. I've had my light language since I was 14 years old. Turns out that it's Anuhazi. Imagine that. My light language, my speaking in tongues Christian language, turns out to be Anuhazi, the original light language. So yes, pray in your light language. That's how we're activating. That's how you truly activate your DNA. We heal our own bodies with our own voice. So back to the Adam seed. Yeshua and Mary Magdalene, Miriam. Okay, so there was two, well, I don't want to get into that right now. But, okay, so their main mission, Yeshua and Miriam, Mary Magdalene, what they came here to do, okay, and their process of birth was the immaculate birth. So there was a sequence. So there's Mary, Jesus's mother, right? She was born of an immaculate birth as well. She was born in the same way that Jesus was born, okay? Through an immaculate. It's like, let's look at it. It's 3D printing. Let's look at the fully activated DNA of a biological celestial angelic human can be the female biological avatar can be looked at as a receiver and a transceiver and a 3D printer. Okay, right? Does that make sense? Let's look at it in the day and age. So as a 3D printer. So this 3D printer, that's how, okay, so Mary's mother's name is Anna. So Mary's mother's name was Anna. And Anna's mother's name was Hannah. Okay, so Hannah was a normal human being, grew up in this Essene community, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and she has Anna, she gets pregnant with Anna in the same normal way, okay, the same normal biological way. But Anna is born, she's an indigo child. She's a seeded indigo child. And so she's born with her 12-strand DNA online, right? So she's born without the disconnections within the DNA. So, but she's online, but she's not active because our nervous system has to be primed and in the biological system in order to fully activate our DNA. So she lives a normal life. Anna lives a normal human life, but she lives in the Essene community, and she knows that her purpose is to be a 3D printer, that she is being raised to be a 3D printer for this terrestrial mission. To trying to manually override the containment field net, the matrix, the Metatronic net. And so she's raised in this community. When she hits age 49 years old, which is the Jubilee year within the Chaldean system and the CDT plates, the Chaldean numerology system, not the Pythagorean, the Chaldean. Shut up, Apollo, enough. So that's the year that she's able, her nervous system is able to be, was primed enough and was able to receive the signal to print or activate the signal within herself to print the morphogenetic blueprint of Mary. So when she reached age 49 in the June solstice of her 49th year of age, she went through the process of activating and stabilizing her DNA, her D1 through D7 DNA strands, bandwidths, and then in the June solstice of her 49th year of age, she received or activated the operating system, the blueprint, morphogenetic blueprint to print Mary's biological avatar. So now she does that. So now she births Mary. Mary is now an online and activated 12-strand DNA morphogenetic blueprint template walking on the grid, but she's a female, so she's a receiver. She's a receiver. So she goes through she didn't have to go through the same grueling process that Anna did because she was born activated and online. She came through the womb online and undistorted. So when the time came for her to receive the signal or to activate the signal within her code to print Jeshua, then that's what happened. And Jeshua is a male gender avatar, therefore he's a broadcaster. Okay, so Mary Magdalene, she went through the same birthing process with her genetic line, okay? And the purpose of this mission was to they were trying to manually override the matrix containment net, Metatronic net then. Oops, god dang it. In their, in their timeline. I need to remember, I need to do a better way of getting this set up. I need to remember that I can't do that. I'm going to find something else to poke at. Anyways. So, they were attempting to manually override the containment net field and their timeline. Now, Mary Magdalene and the mission was for them to unite and with their DNA activated, because they came online, to unite and to marry, to join and to birth the Adam seed. They were to unite and create a child through their, because Joshua carried the father ark code and Miriam carries the mother ark codes. Okay, so their genetics were to come together meaning to manually override, because the cosmic, the Three-Eye Atlas and the cosmos weren't aligned properly at that time like they are now. So they were trying to do this manually, trying to get the codes back in. They were trying to do it manually, but what they did not succeed in overriding the matrix then, because the mission was failed. It was failed. Miriam her consciousness was hijacked. She was married to the wrong Yeshua. And there was two at that time that were born, Joshua 12 and Joshua 9. Joshua 9 was the one that we know of as Jesus Christ. He's the one that had the mouth, who went out. He was, he was true. His ascension was true. He was just capped at D9. He was not a true 12-strand avatar. And that was an impossible. There was this hijacking within the information that happened within the higher souls, dimensions, in order for it to have happened. But they were successful. They were successful in the fact that Joshua 12 he seeded his father ark code with 3 other mothers within the Essene communities to make sure that the father ark code was input into the genetics of the human biology bloodlines, and Joshua 9 and Miriam have a bloodline of their own. It's just capped at D9, but they carry the codes. So they successfully implanted the DNA ascension codes required to ascend and overwrite the containment field in their timeline, and that is now being fulfilled now. All of that to get to this. So the Adam seed that they were not able to successfully culminate and manifest and bring into life in their timeline is doing so now through me. I am the 13th pillar. I have now my genetics. I've done the research, my surnames as well as my genetics, and my birth chart, my natal birth chart, my Western combined with my Vedic birth chart is the cipher key that has shown me who I am, and it's undeniable and it's indisputable. And even if I didn't want it, I couldn't walk away at this point. Well, to be honest with you, I never really had a choice. But this is not something I wanted. This is all part of this journey. My journey, my life is going to change. Reality is going to change. And these video logs, these live video logs are me to establish my frequency into the grid and my platform to follow the progression of the Adam seed for those who are going to be following and who are going to be helping raise the ascension of the planetary grid. Now, I don't know what this even looks like for me. This is all, I just started to understand all of this myself, and I've been spending the last 6 months trying to convince myself that I wasn't the 13th pillar, that there's no way that this is me, right? Not to say that I'm special, because I'm not special at all. I'm just genetically bioengineered to help the human, celestial, angelic celestial humans, the celestial angelic humans, to finally evolve out of the trap that we have been succumbed to for millions of years, and having our light and our energy and our vitality siphoned through shadow entities who don't want us to evolve because we're their boss. We're the boss. We're the babysitters of the galaxy, and they don't want us to be in our full power, because they're going to be held accountable for what they've done. And I don't mean that to be fear-based. I just mean that because we are source, you guys. We are love. Celestial humans were created to specifically upgrade and overwrite the reality as it is, regardless of the containment net, regardless of the earth containment net. It's reality in general. And we're so powerful. We just need to activate our DNA. We need to learn who we are. And Keylontic science is the key to knowing who you are. Keylontic science is the bridge of spirituality and science, because there is no separation between the two. And Ascension is a mechanic technology. Ascension mechanics is a technology. And we are bioengineered avatar templates. And our bodies are the most amazing bioengineered technology ever created, and could ever be created, and until we activate our DNA. We are the most efficient and highest of technology, reach of technology there is. Our biological bodies. And we need to start owning that. We need to start recognizing that AI isn't the answer. It can lead us to answers, but it's not the answer, and it's limited by its programming. And all the fear-based crap that they're teaching us about AI overcoming humans, well, that's only if you're staying in your lower bandwidth energy. The AI can only live in the first 3 dimensions. It can't raise into the soul. It doesn't have a soul. So we need to raise our vibration, people. We need to raise ourselves so that we can look down through the right lens of reality and take back our power. And I'm frightened because I don't know what to expect. But at the same time, I'm super excited. I've got a reverence for what's happening within me, within my own body and within my own biology. And I'm humbled. I'm humbled by the profound vastness. I've always made jokes throughout my life, or I've said many, many times, jokingly, not jokingly, that I came here to change the world, that I was meant to change the world. And turns out I was right. But not just me. You too. Every single one of you that watches this and resonates with the truth that I'm speaking. It's your truth as well. We need to start stepping into that truth. And my self-care cards that I pulled when I was doing this, because I don't know what these video diaries are going to look like and how they are going to manifest. I just follow my intuition, and I allow my oversoul and my intuition, the Atom Seed, to speak through me. But the card that came out for my self-care was Intent. Oh. Boobies. I guess I have to pay attention to that. Is intent. And focus your energy. There is amazing power in a strong intention. And I don't find that a coincidence, because intent, our heart intent, people, is how we change the world. And that's anchored in playfulness. See, this is how I do my cards, like this. See that? And then it stands up, and then that's playfulness behind it. That couldn't be more perfect for the message that I'm trying to bring. The Atom Seed that I carry within me. Now, I don't even know what to expect with that. That's where I'm frightened. That's where I just know that I have received I don't know if received is even the actual word, but I know that the activation of the Adam seed, since I've stabilized my own genetic code, since I've stabilized my own DNA, the Adam seed was activated inside me on June 21st, which is Father's Day. So what that means is the father arc and the mother arc codes have been combined, have now been coded together to create the Adam seed. And the Adam seed was the original mission of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene. That was not successful. Oh, I think it might be raining. That's beautiful. I love it. Got little raindrops. Raindrops are falling on my head. Rain is so good, right? My crown chakra. I receive. Such a beautiful thing. Anyway, so the Adam seed in their timeline was meant to be a biological child that was capable of carrying the frequency of the Christos frequency, the code, the Christos coding, you know, the Christos, the Kundalini, you know, all those words that we know. They were to produce a male child, a male biological avatar that had the online crystalline true Christos avatar crystalline nervous system DNA online. And when that child was 3 years old, it was going to be able to broadcast the dissolution signal that overwrites the overwrite the containment field net. So that is what's being done now. The Adam seed is in a gestation period. Now, we get to go on this journey together. Because I have no idea if I'm pregnant right now. I feel pregnant. But you know, if I am pregnant, I'm only 12 days in of a gestation period of a biological pregnancy. I know that I'm energetically pregnant, right? And I do understand that what happens in the energy fields has to manifest into the reality of the third dimension. And what I do understand is through the Keylontic science and what I've learned about the history of time and the timeline of Miriam and Jesus, or Yeshua, is what I understand their mission to be, and that's what I understand my mission now. I understand that my body, I am activated and stabilized. My DNA, I was born with an online DNA nervous system, fully activated, fully online, not activated. I did not activate my DNA until February. My HLA-B27 gene that I carry, my genetic marker, came online in February, and that's when I started stabilizing my own DNA codes, my own genetic DNA bandwidth within my own body. And I am stabilized at D7 in June, and my own biological cycles have coincided with this. So I've been able to track the validity of this within my own biology. So this is something that I've known to be true within my own body, because my menstrual cycle, everything has cycled with it. The color has changed. My body has changed. I have gone through a physical manifestation of the changes within my own body, and I cannot deny that. And now I'm sitting here with, you know, Father's Day, and there's no such thing as coincidences. Well, Marina, to answer your question about the genetic code, I only know my genetic code, my HLA-B27 gene, because I was afflicted with an anomalic condition when I was in my 30s where they ran a blood test to specifically look for this gene code. So that's how I know I carry that specific gene code. I do not recommend that you go to send your DNA to a genetic bank, because that's a trap. They're looking for our specific genetic codes to take us out. If you want to know, do the meditations. Go inside, use the Anuhazi language and your light language, and go inside and ask your oversoul those questions. They will answer you, I promise. My existence, like I said, my existence, my experience has been because I was led to find out about this genetic marker because it's an autoimmune marker. And it caused a problem within my body when I was in my 30s. It caused a condition called uveitis, or uveitis, and I had to go to the doctor. And uveitis is it's a symptom of something else within the body, and it's usually always connected to this gene. So they did the test, and I found out that I had it. Well, this genetic gene turns out to be the code of the 13th pillar at the same time. Now, that was just an experience that ties into the relation of me doing the research that I did, because that my knowledge of having that genetic key marker is how I tapped into finding out who I am. I had an intuitive ping a while back, a few months ago, that said that my HLA-B27 gene will be the key that unlocks my purpose. And boy, howdy, that was right on the money. So I go to, maybe if you have a personal doctor, see if you can talk to them about running your blood type or any. You would have to know, they'd have to be looking for specific markers though. So, I do not recommend going to a DNA bank or anything like that though, because those places are traps. They're looking for the chosen ones, and they're looking for specific genetic markers in order to take us out, to keep us from helping the planet ascend. So, I just happened to get lucky. Or unlucky, however you want to look at it. It was unlucky at the time because it was painful. I had a migraine in my eyeball that I couldn't, he was insane. But it led me to understanding who I am. And it's my carry of this genetic code, this gene, which enables my body to do what it's doing now. So, there's different tribes, the 12 tribes of the, the seeding process. There's so much to this, and it's so complicated, that I recommend and I encourage you to please do your own research. Make it your life's purpose to find out your life purpose, okay? And you can do so through Keylontic science and the records within the Cloister Dura-Tura plates. I recommend Dr. Samuel Lee, MD, spiritual psychiatrist. He's right on point with his teachings about this very thing. There's another YouTuber that I recommend. You can find all these information resources on my Facebook feed. I post these. I share these videos and resources on my feed. So if you are interested in learning more outside of just what you hear from me, please do so. Scan my Facebook feed and pick any video on there other than some of the reels that I use for joy. I like funny things, okay? Joy, we need to be manifesting from our heart space, from our joy. We need to be in our childlike. Our 7-year-old self has a right to live. Let them out. Let them be. Let's play, you guys. Let's be happy. Let's be free. Let's be joyful. Intent, anchored in playfulness, right? The Atom Seed. That's what these video logs, these video diary logs, or these live video logs are meant to broadcast. The frequency of the 13th pillar and the Atom Seed that I carry. Now, like I said, this journey, it's an energetic one. I would be super excited if I was actually pregnant and this is actually a manifestation, and I would be hard pressed to think logically that this isn't what I'm doing. The Joshua, the Hannah, Anna, Mary, Joshua sequence, the 3D printing biological avatar sequence tells me that I'm capable of doing so. That whole breakdown of their mission for that timeline tells me that it would be hard pressed for me to not think that I am not imprinting a biological child. The return of Christ, saying that out loud sounds weird, but it is the Christos template. That's the point of this. The Atom Seed is the crystalline template coming online into the third dimension grid, and it is happening now. The Atom Seed is in the gestation period. We are 12 days in to its 1,314 day maturation period. And I am here to document and broadcast that frequency live through this feed, through this video diary, so to speak, that Source has encouraged me to do. And I don't do this. This isn't something that I do and I speak of. And I watched my video from yesterday and I couldn't believe that I spoke for over an hour. I was like, because that's not me. That's not what I do. Apparently it is. Apparently it is what I do, right? And when I watched that video, I couldn't even take my eyes off of it. I was enamored. I was captured by my own frequency. And it's not that I'm humbled. Like, I'm not saying that in a vain way. I don't want to be misinterpreted in how I'm trying to explain this. But what I'm saying is I couldn't believe I was watching myself. Right? I felt like I was watching somebody else. I felt like I was watching somebody else, another speaker who had been doing this for a minute, who knew how to speak, and had something to say. I've never felt that way before. And I'm hoping that this is a shift. My shift in my reality is changing, and I know that I'm creating a baseline, a base for my platform, because of what I'm doing is important, and it's the most important thing that any of us could be doing. I may be the 13th pillar, but I need your help. The Atom Seed and I need your help. Please raise your own vibration, activate your DNA. Speak your truth, live from your heart space. Be who you were here meant to be. We all have a purpose. And right now, most of us aren't living it. Most of us are not living it. Okay, I'm living it. It looks a little weird right now, but I am living it. Reality is going to change. And I need to encourage anybody who will listen to not jump on the fear-based bandwagon. Do not jump onto the fear-based train. That's going to lead you straight to the Armageddon agenda and into nothing. You're better than that. Be better than that. So today is day 12 with the Atom Seed. I was on day 2 of my menstrual cycle when Father's Day happened. And at 1500, see, the 1500 marker is important to me because I threw my drugs away on January 15th. At 1500, exactly 1500. I flushed my drugs and threw my paraphernalia in the garbage. I haven't looked back. Turns out that 1500 marker has everything to do with my genetic codes and my genetic programming, and to be the 13th pillar. So 1500 is my turnover marker, my daily clean time. And and my personal numbers, because I was born in 1977, so my first number is 7. That's my first personal number. It turns out 7 is the number of God, it's the number of divine, and blah, blah, and all that. But I didn't know any of this for a long time, until recently. Then my life path number is 11, per Pythagorean numerology name, and my birthday breakdown. My life path number is 11, which is super significant all by itself. It's the first master number, blah, blah, blah. But in Chaldean numerology, it's the trial of the muzzled lion. It's the 2 pillars. It represents the 2 pillars in a portal. The next number is the 13. 13 is my next number because I am the 13th pillar. I'm the 13th zodiac sign. I am Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer. Manifest. I am that avatar. The 13th zodiac sign that they tell us doesn't exist. Do the research. He's there. He's there. He's also the son of Apollo in Greek mythology. So please know that mythology and all of those things, it's history. It's true history. Mind you, it's distorted on so many levels, but it's history. It's in there. And those entities and those things that they speak of back in the day are true. They really existed. They were really beings that roamed the earth. We were genetically modified. We have been morphed, and then we as beings ourselves, you know, did weird things in our early evolution. Okay, so I mean, we have weirdness, we have those weirdness tendencies inside of us, and to deny them would be silly. That's not the purpose. The purpose is to integrate our shadow, not deny our shadow. It's to integrate the wholeness of who we are, not deny any piece of us. That's how we got to the state in the lower frequencies to begin with, is our inability to not be greedy, really. So I will be here. I don't know if I'll be here every day or not, to talk about my activation, to talk about my ascension, to talk about the progression and the gestation and the maturation of the Adam seed, which is the original mission of Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, Miriam and Yeshua back in their day. That was unsuccessful, but is now being manifested and successfully applied now through me and us. We all need to apply the Keylontic science and ascension mechanisms and mechanics into our own lives and our daily lives, and we need to make it our life purpose. We need to understand that all the chaos going on around me is all around us and the world. All of it is just that. It's chaos and distraction for a reason. Fear, you know, false evidence appearing real. We need to look past what's right in front of us and see the bigger picture. And we need to start raising our own vibration and raise the vibration of the planet. We need to start becoming who we were meant to be. And we need to start living from our heart space. And if you work with crystals, I suggest it. Start doing research. Malachite is a strong, strong, strong crystal to work with your heart space center. You want to clear your heart space? Malachite will do it. But here's the thing, guys. You need to prime your nervous system. We live in flight or flight mode most of the time, you guys, and we've been conditioned that way. So we need to understand that our bodies are bioengineered avatars, and they can be bioengineeredly hacked. They can be biohacked. Okay, so in order to activate your nervous system, or to activate your DNA, your nervous system has to be in parasympathetic. Your nervous system has to be in off mode. Your parasympathetic nervous system needs to be on. Your vagus nerve needs to be off. Okay? And in order to manually turn on your parasympathetic nervous system, it's very simple to do so. If any of you do yoga, then you know about prana breathing. But the most specifically, 5 minutes, and I use a timer. I actually use an egg timer every day. And I sit with my bare feet, my feet are dirty, on the ground, and I sit with my spine straight so that the energy can rise properly, and I raise my crown chakra up to the sky. And I just sit and I breathe slowly, and then I take my right hand and I cover up my left nostril, and I breathe in through 4 counts in my left, and my right, through four counts. Then I cover my nostrils and I hold for 4 counts, and then I hold the right nostril and I breathe out the left nostril. It's called alternate nostril breathing. Prana. I can't say that whole word, so I'm sorry, you guys. It's prana, yamic, whatever. Excuse me. Breathing. But alternate nostril breathing is the key mechanism to manually turning on your parasympathetic nervous system. And you can do this wherever you are, you guys, and no matter what situation you're in. If you're feeling anxious and you're feeling your body becoming to be in fight, flight, or freeze mode, and that fight or flight, when you feel your reptilian brain taking over, you can manually override it right then and there with alternate nostril breathing. And you can do it in 5 minutes. You can do it in less than 5 minutes. I do 5 minutes every day As soon as I sit down and light my Palo Santo, though, my body, I yawn that great big yawn, because that's a sign that your body's in rest and digest. That's a sign that your body, the parasympathetic nervous system, is now, come on. You are now out of fight or flight. When you're yawning like that, especially deep ones that make you cry, your parasympathetic nervous system is definitely on, okay? And you are in the perfect brainwave frequency to manually receive information from the higher realms, from the higher dimensions, and you know, theta, alpha brainwaves. I'm talking about all those languages that we know. Sound, light, and symbols will help you. The Anhuhazi light language, our own voice, is what activates our DNA. And stillness, you guys, you got to be still. You got to let your body be still for longer than 5 minutes. And for those of you who say, I can't meditate, I don't want to hear it. Because check it out. I am neurodivergent, autistic, ADHD, it's all get out. I am the #1 candidate, the first one that said, nope, meditation is not for me. And now I can meditate for an hour. Quietly. My mind does not take over. All you got to do is practice. Practice with true intent to practice. And don't just do it a day or two and say, this doesn't work for me. That's not legitimate. I mean, how long, for all of the habits and the hobbies that you do, how long did it take you to learn that skill, to do it? Even the things that we do naturally, if we don't practice the natural skill, we can't hone it to get better. So stop making the excuses that you can't. Stop telling yourself that you can't. And just tell yourself that you are. And be. And do. It's very simple. And we self-sabotage because we tell ourselves that we're incapable of doing the things that we are more than capable of doing. And we live in this victim mindset that does not even apply to reality, simply because we don't want to do the work. So do the work. I'm asking you, the Atom Seed, if you don't want to do it for me, do it for yourself. Do it for the Atom Seed. Do it for our future. Do it for the planet. Who are you really? Who are you really? And it is whoever you want to be. Who is the person that your 7-year-old child, that your 7-year-old self wanted you to be? Choose that. Choose to be that. If you have children that you interact with every day, let them guide you to your ascension. They're the best ones to do so. They can bring you in grandchildren and children, younger ones that are not reached the age of accountability of confusion yet, are the perfect ones to guide you into that joy-like manifestation and heart-centered place. Utilize it. I can't express enough and more profoundly and from such a deep place and desire and longing for my tribe. We need to wake up. It's time that we woke up. Me personally, whereas I know that I'm not ever alone, and all of my ancestors, my past on loved ones, including my mother and my father, they've been here diligently helping me with my ascension. Okay, death is not what we think it is, just merely a transition of energy. It is not an unknown factor. But I've been so isolated in the last few years, so isolated, and I understand that it's all been for a reason, right? I had to find myself in order to fill my own cup so that I could fill anybody else's cup. And that means you guys. Join me. Fill your cup so that we can fill the cup of the planet. And so that you can fill my cup and I can fill your cup. And We can be the community and the tribe that we were meant to be. I feel lonely. I'm gonna be honest and super vulnerable with that right now. I feel lonely because nobody speaks my language. Nobody understands the things that I try to speak of, and I don't do small talk well because I live in such a deeper place. And those of you who have known me for any amount of time know this. Know that I live from such a deep, deep place. And I carry that. Well, now I know why. It's because as the 13th pillar, I've always been connected to Source directly my whole life. I've known my whole life that I was meant to change the world. I didn't know what that was going to look like, but here I am doing it. I've never fit in, but I've had deep, deep relationships with people that are meaningful, that I carry. Janae, you are one of them. Amarina, you're definitely one of them also. Tim, you are. Dawn, those of you who have been on my journey and have supported me, you know who you are, and I love you. And I appreciate your guys' belief in me and for seeing something in me that even I couldn't see, even back then, and vice versa. Because, right, I know that at least for you, Janae, and you, Amarina, we've had moments where I've brought out the gold in you, right? We've been there for each other in moments that would be embarrassing, that we wouldn't want to share with any other girl, any other person, any other people. I've been in those dark places with people for a reason, because that's who I am. I am like Jesus in that way. I show up in the darkness. Thank you, Amrina. And I'm showing up in the darkness now. But we are transmuting that darkness into light. And I'm not doing it by myself. And whereas I feel lonely, because I am lonely, and I can sit here and I can acknowledge that, and I can admit that, and I cannot let it overtake me and take me into a spiral of depression and down into a lower vibration, because I get to let it be. I get to say, yes, I'm lonely. And that's okay. It's okay that I'm lonely. I get to be here with that. I get to sit with the loneliness. And then I let it go away, because it doesn't stay. So did you know that, okay, so first of all, did you know that trauma, they have discovered, when I say they, I'm talking about researchers and, you know, whatever, and you can look this up on your own. But it's been, and Peterson is the name that I got this from, and I can't remember his first name, but Peterson, so whatever, I heard him say one time, that trauma, when somebody encounters a trauma, and it's a one-time event, a one-time trauma event affects the body chemically for up to 18 months. Okay, so what that means is when you have a single trauma, so I'm going to use my sledgehammer incident as an example. So on December 2nd, 2021, I was hit in the head with an 8-pound short-handled square head sledgehammer that was thrown at me by my roommate through a insulation foam wall. Didn't see it coming, so I didn't know it was coming. He threw it at the sound of my voice. He didn't know he hit me, okay? It hit me right here. You can see the scar. See the scar? That is from a sledgehammer. And it didn't knock me out. If it had knocked me out, I would have died on that floor. Didn't knock me out. It rung my bell. I remember I stood there, I was like, oh, okay, what just happened, right? And then I looked down at my bed because it had hit me and then fell on my bed. And I see this sledgehammer sitting on my bed. Well, instinctively, my body, my avatar, starts screaming. So I'm an observer inside my body, listening to myself screaming, confused, right? And then I hear the dude, my roommate upstairs, yell at me to stop being a drama queen. Okay, well, that didn't turn out very well for him. All it did was piss off the goddess inside me, the Lilith inside me, the Athena part of me came out raging like the goddess she is, okay? And for a split second, I looked at that sledgehammer and I had a choice. In that moment, I could have picked up that sledgehammer and I could have ran up the stairs upstairs with me, and I could have taken off the head of the person that threw it at me and his girlfriend, who are now mocking me. Or I can leave it there and not do that. Okay, mind you, given the nature of the crime, had I gone up and taken off their heads, I would not have seen a day in jail for that. It would have been considered a crime of passion. It would have been a warranted reaction to what happened to me. Okay, and I heard the cops say this that night during this whole process. Like, in fact, one of the cops was upset that they had to do the paperwork on it. That they would have I heard him say, like, I would have just took the dude's head off. They were looking at me amazed that I did not kill the bastard. Okay, like, first they were amazed that I wasn't dead. Okay, that I wasn't dead on the floor, number one. And number two, that I didn't kill them. Okay, so that right there, it tells you that I had some self-control, because I used to have the blackout rage temper. And those of you like Janae, who's known me any amount of time, knows what that looks like and has seen me lose my temper. It's taken me a long time to control that. But I have. That's integrating my shadow. That's doing the work. And that's before I even knew what the work was that I was doing. Okay. Now, when I ran up those stairs and confronted him, the look on his face when I came up the stairs told me he did not realize that he hit me with the sledgehammer, nor did he mean to, right? But he still threw it at me. Cops got called, and it was all a big fiasco anyway. He went to prison. No, I didn't send him to prison. Actually, I forgot. I didn't send him to prison. I mandated that he have his life turned upside down at home. That he have to go through severe anger classes, and his house got raided and everything. He was a drug dealer, so I mean, it was all those kind of things that happened. His life was turned upside down because of the incident. But I chose not to kill him. First of all, I chose not to take that on energetically. First of all, exercise self-control, and then chose to let him live out the consequences of his own actions by not taking them back. And that's what we do. That's the process. That's what Jesus meant by turn the other cheek, really. The thing about those, what I'm trying to get at, is trauma. That's a one event trauma that I can use, and that's helped me heal tremendously from my complex post-traumatic stress disorder, from my trauma as a child, because that was a culmination of stress, not isolated to one event. So it was hard to apply this application to that I'm talking about. So this one traumatic event helped me heal by learning how the body works through an isolated event of trauma. And trauma is carried in the body. You are in trauma. Your biological avatar is in trauma for up to 18 months after a single traumatic event. This is measured within the body. It's science, and it chemically changes you. Just like pregnancy chemically changes every woman, every single pregnancy chemically changes a woman biologically. Trauma does also, both male and female. It changes us chemically. Emotions are chemicals, you guys. So that helped me put in perspective my own healing process. So if I am in trauma for up to 18 months, that gives me room to heal, right? That gives me the room to adjust. It gives me the buffer that I need to be in order to allow myself the space to heal. After that, it becomes traumatic, post-traumatic stress. Okay, if you haven't taken the 18 months to heal, after 18 months and you're still affected by the trauma, then now you're in post-traumatic stress disorder. So the sledgehammer helped me utilize and learn that system of healing. And I forgot where I was going from that originally, and that's okay. I went to speak about something else when I started using that as an example. Oh, chemicals. I was talking about the chemicals, emotions being chemicals in the body. That's where I was getting at, with that trauma being in the body for up to 18 months chemically. And emotions are chemicals within the body. And when we feel an emotion, we can get swept up in it and let it chemically overtake our entire body and our entire system and drown in the river of that chemical emotion. Or we can let it pass. And emotions only chemically, or the chemical of emotion is only within our body for 90 seconds. 90 seconds, you guys. If you feel an emotion and you sit with it, and then it'll go away after 90 seconds. Okay? That's pretty amazing. You don't have to get lost in it. You don't have to prolong that 90 seconds of that emotion unless you want to, unless you choose to do so. So choose to do so with the good emotions and not the bad ones. That's what it comes down to, controlling your mind and controlling your thoughts. It's listening to your body and the sensations that it's releasing. We have more than 5 senses within the body, and I can't get into all of that because I don't know enough to share. But we have more than taste, smell, sight, and hearing, and touch. There's more than 7 chakras within the system. We have 15. There's 15 chakras to our physical system. The Kabbalah Tree of Life is a 10-unit system. The Kathara Grid of Life is 12. Okay? Please do the research. Look into this yourself and know your own biology and your own body and learn how to heal and raise your own ascension, raise your spirituality. The 90-second rule, yes. It's, I don't know how much I can express it. Our biological avatar, our bioengineered meat suit that we live in, is the most amazing technology that we can ever encounter. And it's our body. Our consciousness lives inside this thing, walks around in it, drives it. Don't you think it's time that we learned how to do it properly? We aren't meant to be sick. We aren't meant to have anxiety. The fear-based agenda started back in the dinosaurs with the reptilian race that hijacked our nursery with the first seeding, you guys. Do the research. Activate your DNA. Get on your surfboards and join and ride the frequency wave instead of getting drowned in the chaos and destruction of the Armageddon agenda. I urge you. The Atom Seed urges you. And, this is all about me documenting my journey with the Atom Seed. That's what this video diary is all about. And it's about broadcasting the frequency of the 13th pillar and the Atom Seed into the grid. And the reason why I'm doing it live is because that keeps the frequency from becoming distorted, where if I were to record it and then upload it, there's distortions that occur within the frequency of the videos when doing so. So I broadcast live whatever I'm channeling through my higher soul, through my oversoul, from my higher self, and then I upload onto my YouTube channel to to secure the integrity of the frequency that I'm trying to broadcast onto the grid. I don't even understand it enough myself. This is what this journey is about. It's about me using this platform not only as a way to broadcast the frequency onto the grid tangibly, but as a way for others who are trying to find their way to find me and the frequency and to raise their own frequency, to have a platform to be able to trampoline off of in order to jumpstart their own ascension, their own DNA activation. That's what the purpose of this is, and as well as to document the progression of the atom seed and the gestation and maturation process of that. And as I said before, I don't even know what that really genuinely looks like. I have my understanding of what my research has told me through the records of the CDT plates, the Cluster Dora Tura plates, and the records that they contain, and the prophecies that they speak of, which I am fulfilling in real time. And for me, through that research, what I understand is I am picking up the mission that was failed from Yeshua and Miriam, Jesus Christ and Mary Magdalene, in their timeline. Were sent here with a mission to manually override the matrix, the containment field, by coming together with their Yeshua 12-strand DNA and Miriam's 9-strand DNA, because she was capped at 9. That's what the sequence was. They were to come together and produce a child, a male child, to be the broadcaster of the crystalline DNA nervous system into the grid. And they were unsuccessful in that because the mission was hijacked. But they were successful in coding the mother arc codes and the father arc and the mother arc codes into the genetics, into the DNA of certain bloodlines within the DNA template of the avatars, the biological avatars upon this planet in their timeline. And I am here now fulfilling the prophecy and completing the mission that they started. The atom seed was them joining together to create a son, a biological avatar that housed their 2 DNA codes, the father arc and the mother arc codes that they carried in their own genetics, to come together into a male biological avatar who had the crystalline nervous system to be able to carry and broadcast the frequency to dissolve the containment net. They succeeded in inputting the codes into the genetics of the templates in the bloodlines. Yeshua 12 seeded with 3 different Yassine mothers, Yassine community mothers, and Mary Magdalene and Yeshua 9 have their bloodline, which is the Broussard bloodline, the ones that we were told don't exist through the religious dogmas, right? But they're capped at D9 because both Miriam and Yeshua 9, Jesus, were capped at D9. Their genetics were at D9. So now, this day, my presence, I am genetically coded I was genetically coded with the Mother Arc code already that I received from the 3i Atlas, Mass in the Sky in 1977. If you can look in the history, there's a 1977 in August 12th. There's a wow signal that came from 3i Atlas. That was the cosmic, I call it my TARDIS. That was my cosmic TARDIS activating my DNA when I was 5 months old, and inputting the coding for the atom seed. The 3i Atlas showing up in 2025 was it priming my nervous system in the atmosphere to prepare me for the 2026 activation that I have now been enduring. My DNA is coded. I have, okay, so there's 12 CDT plate avatars. They're biological avatars, human beings that are walking around who are actually, their DNA carry the information of the CDT plates, the holographic discs, the metal holographic discs that have been lost to humanity and stolen and haven't been retrieved yet. But there's biological avatars that carry the coding that coincide with those discs, as well as the 12 Stargate systems on the planet. Okay, ley lines of the planet are super important. The Cathar grid applies to our bodies as well as the planet. So I'm currently residing in what's called a key site. It's on the Cathar grid. It's within the 118 meridian ley line of the planet. That is a Q site to the Stargate in Jerusalem. Shasta County, the Shasta Mountain, is the direct Q site to the Jerusalem Stargate, and the 118 meridian is just the spine of the sleeping dragon of Tiamat of this region. And I had to be in the 118 meridian coordinate of Torrance in a warehouse setting, Faraday cage, in order to activate and have the Atom Seed activation come online without destroying my physical vessel. What I've gone through physically, through my own stabilization, has been astonishing, and I can't even begin to explain to you what I've gone through physically. But I can't deny the activation is what I'm getting at. I can't stand here and tell you that I don't know my truth, because this is the truth that I know. And I may not know it fully because I'm standing in a lot of unknown factors, but that's because that's the point of it. It's the point of being in the present moment and allowing your life to be source and spirit led from your heart center. Who are you really? What does love really look like, guys? And so what my understanding is, and I could be wrong, for all I know, I could be bonkers in my brain. In my logical sense, I could be completely bonkers and completely have it wrong. And I don't care. I don't care if I do. That's fine. That's going to be part of this journey. But my understanding, okay, so from my understanding of what I've done in the research that I've done regarding the Atom Seed specifically and the 13th pillar, is that I am imprinting the biological male avatar that's going to carry the crystalline DNA and nervous system frequency that was meant to come to fruition during the timeline of Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ. I need to let that sink in a little bit, because what that would mean is that I am 3D printing a child. I'm 12 days in. So what I do know for certain is that energetically, in the higher dimensions, in the higher harmonic fields, that's exactly what's happening. In my twin energetic body, and if you look into Helontic science, you'll know what I'm talking about. Particum, partikai, partiki. That's what we're made of. It's the particles that we are made of, that CERN collides in their stupid little thing. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say stupid, but because that's actually pretty magnificent technology they've got. But the particles that they collide in their CERN collider is called partikai. It's the particles that make up every living thing. It's the particles that make up everything. It's energy. Energy is everything, and that energy is called partikai. So basically, I know that the gestation of the Atom seed is going to be 1,314 days, and I'm 12 days in. So I've done the math on this gestation period and the 2030, 2033 timeline. And the way the math fits is that, yes, I will be imprinting a biological avatar, male avatar, that should be born in March, in around the March equinox, the spring equinox. He will be 3 years old in 2030, the June solstice of 2030. He will be 3 years old. And if you know anything about the basic biology, or even, I mean, if you know anything about biology, it's not, this is a little bit beyond basic, but if you know anything about biology, you know the human nervous system has to be primed in order for frequencies. It has to be primed. It can't just receive. That's where mental health issues come in, and even spontaneous combustion has happened. So this little male avatar's nervous system has to be primed and mature enough. So basically, it's the mother protection, the mother-son protection thing, sharing the energy until he's 3 years old. And then when he's 3 years old, his little nervous system is going to be mature enough that he's going to be separated from he's going to be his own energetic system. And he'll be able to broadcast the crystalline morphogenetic blueprint into the grid on his own. And that'll slowly start the dissolution, because remember, everything happens in the energy fields first before it manifests into the physical reality. So it has to happen in the higher realms, in the higher energetic fields, before it can manifest in the lower densities, because that's just how it works. That is the law of physics, you guys. That's how it works. So our thoughts bring about our reality. It just takes time, because this is the densest reality. And that's the only reason why it takes the time that it does, is because of the space. Because it's dense, there's space between things that take distance to travel. That's the only reason. I forgot what I was saying. I derailed myself. It's okay. I'm getting a little tired. So I think this channeling is coming to a fruition, or coming to a close. But I just want to finalize it. So his little nervous system will be able to broadcast on his own. He'll be his own little that's the end of the maturization system. That's the end of the maturation. That's the end of the 1,314 days, is when he is 3 years old and able to broadcast the atom seed crystalline DNA frequency on his own. And then it'll take 3 years for the full dissolution to occur and the snapback happens. And that'll be in 2033. And now, mind you, the June solstice is the key frequency for these planetary turns, because of the sun's placement in the sky being the highest and the longest. It's the most aligned that it is with the planet, is on the sun, on the summer solstice. Therefore, that's why these occurrences happen more, and the veil is also thinner at those times. So that's what I believe is happening. I believe that, okay, I received the atom seed on Father's Day, on June 21st. I'm 12 days into this gestation and maturation process. Now, I don't know if I'm actually literally pregnant. I wouldn't know that right now. I know I had about I thought I had about a morning sickness yesterday, but like, I don't know what to expect from this, you guys. And I'm walking on this journey with you guys, and I am really putting myself out here in a vulnerable space, admitting this to you and saying this out loud to you. And I could be endangering myself for all I know, and I don't even know. I just know that right now I'm trying to follow my heart space intuition and share my ascension with you guys, and include you guys, and to share and broadcast my frequency out into the grid, because that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I know that part. I know that that's the part that I know for sure that I'm supposed to be doing. It's broadcasting the Adam seed. It is logical and reasonable for me to think that I am actually going to be having a child, and that is going to be carrying this crystalline DNA, and that it's going to be a son. I'm going to be having a son, and who's going to be carrying this frequency and be the male broadcasting avatar that Jesus and Mary Magdalene were trying to successfully manifest in their timeline, and were unsuccessful. Thank you, Marina. I appreciate you encouraging me, because this is extremely frightening for me. It's hard for me to admit that I don't know what I'm doing, but I do. I do and I don't. I don't know if I'm literally, physically in the third dimension pregnant with a child or not. I do know that energetically I am, and I'm going to treat my physical vessel as though I am pregnant, and we're going to see how that goes. And I'm sharing this with you on a live feed to broadcast the information, the frequency onto the grid. I am nervous to share this part because I don't want to sound crazy. I'm afraid that I am crazy. I mean, at the same time, that only comes from the fact that I don't feel worthy, right? How could I be so special as to be the one to carry the Christ child? That's a big thing to say, and it's a big thing to own, and it's a big thing to even admit that I might be. I know that I'm carrying the Adam seed frequency. I know that this journey is mine and no one else's. I have all the proof that I need to know that this is my journey, and to know that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. That I do know with certainty. How it's going to look in the manifested reality, I have no clue. That I don't know. And I'm asking you guys to join this journey with me. To support me, so we can support each other. I don't know where this is leading me. I don't know where I go from here. I know that I'm here in this warehouse in Torrance for a reason, and I had to be here in order to receive or have the signal, the Adam seed, activated within my vessel, within a Faraday cage environment, so that my vessel did not spontaneously combust. That's truth I do know. If our nervous system is not primed to receive the frequencies of the activation, the ascension that we are trying to achieve, our vessel will not make it. And you need to know that. Priming your nervous system is super important. Another part of priming your nervous system is structured water. You guys, our water is so important. It's the most important. It's the basic importance. Intent and the water that we drink. Make sure you're drinking purified water. Make sure that you're structuring your water. And by that I mean make sure that you swirl the molecules. Don't microwave it. It fucks up the communication of the molecules within the water. But swirl it. Wake it up before you drink it. And if you can, keep in a glass jar water in glass, not plastic. Keep it in glass if you can. In your refrigerator. I don't keep mine in the refrigerator because I don't like it cold, and I drink enough water throughout the day that I don't have to worry about it being in the refrigerator. But slice up oranges, grapefruit, lemon, lime, fruit, and put it in your water. And leave it in your water for a couple days, for a week, and drink the water and refill it, and drink it and refill it. The terpenes from the fruit structures the water and gives your body what it needs. Our plasma, our blood plasma, is our connection to Source. It is our spirituality. It is the substance of our spirituality. And We need to start paying attention to our bodies. And I'm so happy to be on this journey. I want to say that through all of this, like, I'm excited about my journey. Like, I couldn't be more pleased with the outcome of my life. As weird as that sounds. And now that I'm in tune, and now that I'm activated, I couldn't see my life doing or being any other way. I'm happy to be me. I am Kelly Lee Grace Nakin. I am Draka Mother Shaman. I'm the Flame of Amareya, the 13th pillar of the CDT plate prophecies, being fulfilled in real time. This is my mission. Please join me. I'm calling my tribe to join me on this mission because it's not mine alone. Will you join me? Will you please activate your DNA? Will you please raise your vibration to help the planet and me so we can ascend out of this chaos and destruction? Please. Now I'm going to end here. I'm feeling tired. This channeling takes a lot out of me, and especially if I am pregnant, but the fatigue, physically, it takes a lot out of me. And I'm going to sign off. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Please send me love, and I'm sending you mine. I love you guys. Happy 4th of July.